Hey guys, so today we're going to be setting up a high-level AI chatbot onto a business's website. So HighLevel basically came out with this awesome new feature that essentially sets up a chat widget on a business's website, and then from there uses AI to basically interact with page visitors, respond to questions, um, and basically act as a live agent to get appointments booked on the calendar. And essentially, this automates the entire intake process for a business. And so what we're going to do while we're on here is essentially set one up for business and then test it out so that you can kind of see it in real time, how it works. So essentially, when you go into a sub account, what you're going to do is go into settings within HighLevel, click on conversation AI. So by default, the setting should be set to off, but there is two different options here. You can either set it to suggestive, which means that the system is just basically going to generate a response, but it still needs a live agent or a person there to actually approve the message and send it, versus you can give it free reign on autopilot where it'll actually generate the response and then also send it out to the page visitor. And then in terms of supported channels, there's a few different places. Basically, you can set it up so that if it receives a message from any one of these channels, like an Instagram DM, Facebook DM, a text message, a message on your Google business profile, a chat widget on your website, and then live chat. I'm not going to do that one because we don't have a live agent taking in all the messages for this particular business. But that's basically setting it up so that if it receives any messages coming in from any of these channels, it'll go ahead and then generate a response to that. Down here, you'll just put the name of the business. And then in autopilot mode, it has a few settings in terms of how long you want it to respond. Let's see, I would say generally you want it to be about 10 to 15 seconds so that it just feels a little bit more like a real person. And you can also set how many times that the bot is allowed to respond to a contact before it requires an in-person, actual live person to take over. And then from here, you can also set a max time where it would go to sleep essentially after, if the live person intercedes or actually takes over and messages manually. So that's basically the settings for the bot itself. And then now what we want to do is train it. So what I can do here is input my business's website so that it'll crawl through that and grab any information. And it's going to use this to as a knowledge base to answer any questions that come in. So I have the website there loaded. And then on top of that, I can also add questions and answers. So any FAQs, like frequently asked questions that you commonly get asked by your clients or your clients get asked by their potential leads, you can go ahead and input both a question and an answer here. And so I have uploaded about 13 to 14 questions. As you can see, you just click on it and it expands. And if I want to add more, I just click on add Q&A. I add the question and then I add the answer and then it's saved. And the really great thing about this is that essentially the chatbot will grow smarter over time as it collects more data, as you train it and give it more information to learn from. So this is just what we're starting with. But you'll see when we test it out that you can make it more intelligent by prompting it and grading it on its responses. So here, once we have the FAQs loaded, we're going to go into the next section, which is to configure intent. And that basically is to set the expectation for what is the objective at the end of this interaction with this lead. So we want to essentially get a lead on the calendar. So we want to book an appointment for us. I can go ahead and set my calendar that I want it to be booked to. So this is, we want to book a discovery call for this client who's a virtual assistant agency. And then you have the option to either have the chatbot just send the link to the lead, or what it can do is actually kind of act as an assistant where it'll shoot out a few times that you're available, and then the lead will respond with what times work. And then from there, it will actually book the appointment. So that requires a little bit less action on the lead's part, where they don't actually have to click on the link and then line it up with the calendar. It's just basically in conversation format. So it makes it a little bit easier, makes it also feel a little bit more personal and like a little bit more of a personalized interaction. So from there, we've already set the questions that we get asked by our clients. Now, what we want to do is set up the conversation flow for the questions that we want to ask our leads. So, again, this is a business that's a virtual assistant agency, and their clients are business owners who want to outsource certain tasks to a virtual assistant. So what we're going to do is essentially just collect information about the business and what they're looking to outsource in terms of work, like administrative tasks. So the first thing I'm going to ask is, what's the name of your business? Second thing is, what kind of tasks do you need assistance with? How many hours per week of support do you think you'll need? What's the preferred time zone and hours? So just collecting information about essentially just the scope of work that's going to be involved here. And what that is going to allow me to do is essentially automate my entire intake process, where within this flow, before I even have to speak to the client, I already know, I have a pretty good understanding of what they're looking to do. So we have this more or less set up. I'm going to hit save. And now we're essentially ready to try it out or give it a trial. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, I'm going to grade it and give it a few test questions. I'd like to hire for my business. And so it's running in the background to be generating a response. Hey there, sure thing. Could you tell me what tasks you need help with so I can provide you with the right information? Yes, I need help with intake for my business. Cool. So as you can see here, I have the option to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I think it was good that it asked me the question, the tasks that I want the VA to do. But what it could have done better is, if you notice, I had a question asking for the name of the business, which it did not ask me. So it skipped a question. So I can train it and grade it, and I can go ahead and start from the beginning and say, hi again. And I'm going to try to ask for the information about the cost first. So I like that it actually asked immediately for the business name. So I'm going to give that a thumbs up. So I give the name of the business. So I'm going to go back and forth. So as you can see, it's already kind of trained. It's kind of responding like a real person. And so this is just a trial. And now what I'm going to try to do is, actually, what I'm going to do first is I'll show you how it looks and how you would actually connect it to your website. So let's see here. We are going to go into sites, chat widget here. So this is basically the interface of what it looks like. What's really cool is that you can actually set a profile. So this is actually a team member for this client, for the virtual assistant agency. So it looks like that she's actually interacting with the lead on the website, but it's just an avatar that we've created. So you can customize it. You can give it an intro message. You can have certain messages for return visitors. You can also kind of customize whether it's an automated SMS or a live chat. Typically, you want to do SMS if you don't have team members that are actually running this in real time 24/7. Live chat is if you have like an actual support team that's handling this stuff for you. So most businesses would make sense to do this SMS or email chat option. And then once you have your settings configured, all you would do is just hit get code, and then you would go ahead and take this code and then install it on the website, whether it's on WordPress, Webflow, Wix, Squarespace, whatever it is. And if you're using Go HighLevel's internal website builder, you would just enable it right over in the website settings. You would go in here, go into edit, settings, and then down here you would enable the chat widget setting. So that's basically how you get it set up. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and go to gotaskfree.com. All right, so as you see here, the chat widget immediately pops up. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. I'm going to put my name. So I'm going to send that there. Hit send. Now it's going to be running in the background. I'll switch over here. And because of the setting that it picked, it's going to actually move this conversation to text as opposed to just going back and forth here. So I'm going to go into conversations. Now I should see, yep, I see a message here popping up. This is what it looks like on the back end. And what I'm going to do also is, all right, so this is the text message that I received. I'm going to respond from here directly as the client. I'm pretending to be an HVAC business. And again, we're seeing here that it received the message and it's going to contact back in about 3 seconds. Cool. So I received the message. I'm going to respond again back as a client. So basically, we're going to go back and forth here and until we answer all the questions that the bot has. So as you see here, I kind of asked, I gave it the response to the question, then immediately asked, how much is it going to cost? So it handled this pretty well, where it said, let's figure that in a sec. First, could you tell me your preferred time zone and hours for your virtual assistant to work? I need them to work 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. EST. So this time what I did was actually responded to 2 messages. So we'll see if it responds to both. And as you can see, yep, it got the second message. It responded to both. Okay, so I'm going to jump in here because I do not want it to ask about a monthly or an hourly rate. So, all right. And so as you can see, at any point I can jump in and send the bot to sleep for the next 2 hours if I want to take over. So from here, now we got to the point where we're trying to set up an appointment. I have, and so now the bot should be looking through the calendar to see when there are some available times and then shoot out a few options. Okay, so it looks like there's not any slots on our calendar on Thursday, so we can do, how about next week? So that should open things up a little bit and give it some more options to shoot out. We're gonna go back here. It says absolutely. Let's look at the following Tuesday. Here are some available slots. Let's do 2 p.m. All right, so there you go. So we're all set basically. We've now booked this lead on the calendar with an actual team member so that they can go over pricing and all that stuff. So we've basically completely automated the entire intake process. At no point did the business owner here have to respond to a lead, answer the phone, any of that stuff. The AI bot did that entire intake process for them. So that's a real life example. This works for essentially any kind of business that is a local service provider. It could be a healthcare provider like a dentist, chiropractor, med spa, or a home service business like the one that we just tested it for. It can also work for other home services like remodelers, roofers, general contractors, anyone whose business really runs on being found online and their leads are looking to book an appointment or ask questions. The chatbot can basically automate that entire process. So now that kind of is a use case for how you can use it for business. The best part is that you can now go ahead and sell this to businesses as an agency owner through HighLevel because they let you completely white label and resell the platform to businesses at whatever price point you want. For this particular feature, there's a lot of features in the software. If you want to just focus and sell this one exclusively, you can basically brand yourself as an AI marketing agency that just focuses really on this one particular feature. And what we've seen is that business owners are happily willing to pay $300 per month for this product. 80% of business owners, when they were asked, said that they felt that AI would help streamline their operations and intake process. And 63% of them said that they'd be willing and interested in buying it right now. They just don't know where to buy it from. So if you do the math, if you were to get 10 clients paying you $300 a month, that's an immediate $3,000 per month in recurring revenue that you can make pretty quickly just by selling this one particular feature. So HighLevel has this awesome 5-day AI marketing challenge that's starting on April 15th. If you're interested, there's going to be a link below to sign up for it. I highly, highly recommend it. It allows you to get started for free and start selling the software and start generating profits before you even have to pay for any licensing subscriptions or have any costs. So I definitely recommend checking it out. Please feel free to let me know if you have any questions. I do workshops like this every Thursday. I have training support calls and have a lot of resources for people that want to get started with this. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks.